Good evening and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back to the Misfits Racing League. This is Tier 3 in Season 6, Round 8 out of 80 in Azerbaijan. A very, very nasty street circuit, if I have to be honest here, with especially, of course, the castle session being the trickiest bit of this track. My name is Frostbreath, and here we are, as I said, in Tier 3. Hi, Gauzy, by the way, I saw you there in chat. It's good to see you all. Hi, Sanagoat, good to see you there in the chat. We are, as I said, in round 18, so we're nearly at the halfway point already. Can you believe that we're starting in January at some point, almost 2 months ago, and we're already 8 weeks into this epic season so far. So good. Speaking of epicness, of course, there's plenty of things going on in the standings, so have a little look at what's going on here in Tier 3. Ayub Khan is still leading the Drivers' Championship. However, some big news came in today as I checked the Tier 3 check-in thing in Discord, and I saw that the championship leader isn't racing tonight. So basically, it's an open goal for the lead of the Drivers' standings. We see PW Jones currently 13 points behind Ayub Khan. If he finishes second or better, or third with the fastest lap, then he will be leading the driver's standings. And of course, Grenade Goran himself, after his victory in Portugal last week, he's climbing closer to Ayub Khan after he got a major screw up by the game, putting him on the wrong strategy. Still, Ayub was able to climb back to P3, but Grenade Goran went away with the win, and now he is only 18 points behind the man in the Alpha Tauri. So that means in the top 3, all very close together, and then a little bit behind, Max O'Connor still hanging around in P4, Pixon in 5th, and then we have Archero Reflexes, Sam Lafivasol and 4-door Sedan rounding off the top 10. So it's looking to be a good race, especially for the men in P2 and P3. As I said, they basically have the open goal ahead of them tonight. All they need to do is score big, and they will refer Ayub Khan down to P2 or even P3, depending on how things will go. Speaking of standings at the championship for the constructors there, Alpha Tauri just barely leading over Haas, and there's a good chance that Haas might actually claim the lead tonight because both of their drivers are present, and as I said, Alpha Tauri is missing one of them, and that being the one who's leading the table at the moment. Williams also not too far behind in third with 107 points, only 12 behind Haas, so there's still 3 teams very much in the mix, of course. Since it's not even the halfway point yet, technically Aston Martin still has a chance as well to claim the constructors title, but they're not having that much of a luck lately. It's also a tight battle between the 3 teams behind the top 3, Red Bull, Mercedes and McLaren, all within 6 points of one another. Red Bull leading the 3 with 77 over Mercedes with 76 and McLaren with 71 points. And then we have another close fight between Ferrari and Alfa Romeo in P8 and 9 with only 1 point difference between themselves as well. We see Alpine then hanging in the middle in P7, and as I said, Aston Martin currently in last place. We also have some drivers who have yet to score points. Ernest Dark and Driver DNB still on 0 points so far. So let's hope for them that tonight will be a bit better for them because they kind of need it. So yeah, Azerbaijan, a pretty tough track. Not in terms of track limits. That's definitely not the case, but we do know that those corners are quite nasty. The curbs are pretty big, and of course the legendary castle section that might or might not claim many drivers tonight. What are my thoughts on Williams' chances of winning combined constructors? That's a good question, actually, Q, because from the top of my head, I do know that Williams are doing well in both Tier 3 and Tier 2. I have to do a little checkup on Tier 1. Because I think... How are they doing there? Let's see here. They're only P4 there at the moment. No, that's actually the wrong... I need to scroll down a bit further. This is the correct standings. Oh dear, Williams P8 in Tier 1. So, unless Williams is picking up in Tier 1... I'm not entirely sure if they can win the combined constructors, but they're definitely doing well here and tomorrow as well. So let's see what will happen here in Azerbaijan. I was speaking of rain in the last few weeks, and that we finally had some when I wasn't commentating. Last Wednesday in Tier 1, they actually had a bit of a rainy session during the race. I saw some intermediate tires being put on in the stream. So let's see what happens here. It's not often that we see rain here in Azerbaijan, so you never really know what will happen. And there we are. It looks like a sunny qualifying, that's for sure. Let's see what the race will do. If anyone is in the race at the moment, one of the drivers, please let me know what the weather is for the next session. It's always interesting to see what will happen. Let's turn on some interesting details here. Of course, you would like to know the tires that many people are using. And let's see if once again Grenade Goran is the first to leave the pit lane. And of course he is, because he is Grenade Goran. As per tradition, the man in the Haas, winner of last week's Grand Prix in Tier 3 is... oh dear, I completely forgot to turn on the standings, did I? There we are. Sorry about that. Lovely standings. So there we are. Grenade Goran in the, well, not technically the lead position, but the first one to go out. Ready to roll. As I said, he needs to perform well tonight if he wants any shot at closing the gap to Ayub Khan, who isn't in his AlphaTauri. In fact, it's Kierbo replacing him tonight in his car. So let's see what his replacement can do in that car. Pole predictions then. Well, as I said, it's basically anybody's game tonight. Ayub's normally the qualifying beast. Oh my goodness, that's a horrible sound. Let's not do that again, please. So, yeah. Poll predictions, I'm leaving that up to you. I'm leaving that all to you. Let's see what you guys think. Who will claim pole position? We've seen many people coming really close. PW Jones in Monaco, for example. MBS, also one of those guys who can be really quick during qualifying. Why is there no in-game audio? I'm really, I'm a bit scruffy tonight. There we are. Now everything should be good. Wet start to the race, drying up after 10 minutes. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Cool. Looking forward to that, that's for sure. Anyway, back to the man chasing the lead of the driver standings. First and foremost, it's Grenade Goran, and of course PW Jones is somewhere behind him, and he's already invalidated into turn 1. That's not very promising for him. That's going to cost him a set of tires there for sure, or at least some extra tire wear going around this lap. Of course, he's going to go a bit slower there to make sure the tire wear stays to a minimum. But that's a poor start then to the man in P3 in the driver's standings. Behind him, Reflexes on the medium, also on an attempt to set a quick lap here. Let's see what those medium tires can do on this track. Because despite there being quite a few 90-degree corners, there's also plenty of straights. So maybe the mediums aren't that much of a disadvantage in qualifying here in Azerbaijan. But then again, more often than not, we've seen these guys using these set of tires to save a set of softs, potentially for during the race. For example, when a laced safety car happens, it's always nice to have at least one set of soft tires, which are brand new and ready to roll through the castle section. And look how tight that is. Carrying as much speed there is essential. You can gain or lose a load of time here. You can also lose plenty of car if you're not careful in that section. So yeah, it's just really calculating how much risk you wish to take. Personally, I wouldn't take too much risk here just yet. It's only the banker lap, the first attempt for many. So let's see how they will do that. There he goes then, purple of course in the second sector. Terton Torleshi following right behind in his Ferrari. Is he faster in the second sector? No, he isn't. Surprisingly, Reflexes on the mediums is faster at the moment than Ayrton Torleshi on his soft tires. Grenade Goran coming into the pit lane, and no second attempt for him on this his used set of soft tires, his first set of softs, as Reflexes sets the first benchmark on the mediums with a 39.650. Ayrton Torleshi, as predicted, slower than the man on the mediums, and Waifoon Ayub's teammate, who is in his car tonight, actually going, well, not that much faster than Reflexes does. And Dark on the mediums going into the 1 minute 38s. 1 minute 38.7, then immediately by the replacement of Ayub, already living up to Ayub's reputation. There, a bit of an oversteering moment while he moves to the side immediately to make sure he's not in anybody's way. So there he is then. 38.7 is, for now at least. It's a wet start when why mediums? Well, as I said, most drivers are using the mediums right now to save a set of softs. I'm quite sure they will not try and use them for a starting tire. Even though one of the medium tire users is currently P4 with a 38.9. Here comes PW Jones on his out lap, getting ready to score big tonight. And of course, you know, rain will certainly mix things up quite a bit. In terms of setup, I'm quite confident that everybody's gone for a dry setup, as it's only 10 minutes of rain, according to this man driving out here in P2 at the moment. We have a yellow flag ahead with a Red Bull going very, very slow to make sure to move out of the way of two cars there. Grenade Goran, I think, is ahead of PW Jones at the moment with another out lap, surprisingly on the medium tires, to save a set of softs. Spam the dog to support Latifa Soul. Unfortunately for the Latifa Soul fans, he's only sitting in P11 with a 40.7, which is almost 2 seconds slower than the man in P1 at the moment. And look how close it is in the top two. Max O'Connor only 6/100ths of a second away from provisional pole. And then there's Archuo, also one of those qualifying surprises, currently sitting P3. Let's see, I think Latifa Soul is currently on a second attempt. He might have messed up his first attempt a little bit there. No, he's turning left into the pit lane. There he goes then. So that will be another attempt for him sooner or later. Let's switch to PW Jones, currently at purple second sector. Let's see what he can do then on the final bit of the track, which is mostly straightforward, almost quite literally. Just a few corners here. This is the toughest bit. Make sure you control your car well here. And there he goes then. Onto the main straight. Let's see what he does. DRS on. And then it's just it's good to go as fast to the finish line as you possibly can. It's only P7 then for the Williams driver, just ahead of his teammate Hako in P8 there. And now Grenade Goran is going to have his second attempt. And frankly, PW Jones is currently providing him with a bit of a tow here, as you can see. There he is. PW Jones just keeps going. And Grenade Goran is edging ever closer. Very interesting. PW Jones is still going quite rapidly there. He's trying to keep Grenade Goran behind him for some reason. Well, a bit of a luck up there for Grenade Goran. And now finally the Williams moves out of the way as the Haas driver approaches the castle section. Let's see how he does there on his mediums. A bit of a yellow flag as two Mercedes are going very, very slow on the main straight in the castle section. Looking very smooth there. Just on the track limits there. Oh dear, and some bad news there. Ayub Khan with a broken steering wheel. Uh-oh. Giving someone else a chance to win for once. Well, the thing is, Ayub Khan hasn't won for 3 races in a row. We got 3 P3s in a row, which is also quite the achievement. And still leading the championship, which is even more impressive. So, what's Grenade Goran gonna do on the medium tires? He's now approaching the finish line. Soon he will get past the pit entry lane, where PW Jones will most likely head in. No, he's heading in again. It's still no time set for Grenade Goran. He's not going to do it on the medium tires, that's for sure. Dark, who set his fastest lap on the medium tires, still sitting in P4, which is an impressive job. So I think he's confident he can go even faster on the softs. So might this man pull off a big surprise? If he's this quick, he's only 2/10 slower than provisional pole with a harder compound tire. So that might have boosted his confidence to try and do it with the softest compound, which is the best thing to do since the race will start with some rain. And therefore it's very unlikely that we'll see dry tires at the start of the race. And there we go then, surprise man, MBS and his Aston Martin. The team with the least amount of luck in this season, in Tier 3 at least so far, is now provisional pole sitter, just edging out Kierbo. Back to Dark, who's getting ready for his hot lap as he's approaching the finish line at speed. He needs only 2.5 tenths, just a bit more than that, to claim provisional pole. And he's got the faster compound now, so let's see what he can do. The turn 2, the left-hander here, 90 degrees to the left. As we have a yellow flag, I think I see a Red Bull. It is not Archibald, it is Ernest then, in the castle section, having a bit of a problem. Not going well there for the Red Bull driver, currently sitting stone dead last with a 1 minute 41.1. Definitely not a great time compared to pole position at the moment. Of course, there's still plenty left in the tank, I'm quite sure, for the Red Bull driver here. Dark has pad hacks, as he already... I'm not saying that, by the way, that's a quote from chat. As he already sets the purple first sector, then into castle section. Very tight, very near to the wall there. Whoa, he's absolutely pushing it like mad, his McLaren there. On the track limits, pretty much. Absolutely no room for error he's leaving there. None at all whatsoever. He's absolutely going wild. And then approaching the third and final sector. Let's see if it's another purple one. A yellow flag ahead of him for a slow-going Mercedes. It's no... Yes, it is a purple second sector. 4 tenths up on his pole, on his own time already. Which means he's over 2 tenths of a second faster than pole position at the moment. No errors in the final few hard corners. And then it's pretty much a straight run to the finish line. So, quite positive it's going to be a provisional pole for Dark here when he crosses the line. Here he comes across the line. It's a 1:38.493. That's an amazing lap there. And I think it's going to be hard to beat this time. I think we might see a 38.3 if somebody really puts their foot down. That's my prediction for now at least. And then we will have our answers. Who's going to be a provisional pole? Grenade Goran now going for it on a fresh set of soft tires. The game still indicating that his best lap was set on the medium. And there we go. That's the 1 minute 38.3 already reached by Max O'Connor. So, interestingly, we now have a McLaren 1-2. And now that is a stark contrast to what we see in real life. Look at that. McLaren looking fantastic tonight. Exactly what I said, yes, Guzzy. All the speed in the game, yes. Looking very, very strong then. Both McLaren drivers. Grenade Goran's teammate currently not going for a hot lap as we speak. Let's see then Hacko heading into the pit lane. I think everybody's pretty much preparing for their final run with less than 5 minutes on the clock. There's only very few people on an outlap. Ernest is one of them. He's still pretty far away from the start-finish line. And MBS is also getting ready for his final attempt. So let's see. Let us see what he can do then. He is currently 3.5 tenths away from provisional pole position. So it's not that big of a gap. But Max has absolutely set a blistering lap time, and I'm curious to see if anyone can beat that. Of course, I'm saying that because I'd like my prediction to come true. But then again, I'd like also to see my prediction being beaten by any of these drivers, and I think MBS might have the potential to do so. No pressure on this man, of course, but I think he can do it. Let's see what's going on. In the meanwhile, just ahead of him, it's... oh dear, that's not what I wanted to happen. It's Jasko, who suddenly teleported back into the pit lane. Okay, well, I'm quite sure he was on the road a moment. But he teleported into... Oh, dearie me. Oh, for some reason I thought he just smashed the wall, but I think he's just heating up his tires for one final time. Ah, I see. Jasko left and rejoined, so that's why he teleported back to the pit lane. I might have jinxed him. I might have jinxed Jasko for sure. But here he comes then. Can he do it? Can he once again claim provisional pole? I think I see something going on in turn 1. It's Wyfoon who's done a Hamilton in the first corner. He was way off the track there. Oh yes, I'm very excited for the starts. Might be carnage indeed, Big Turbina. Let's see what happens. Here he comes then, MBS, the first 2 corners done. He needs to have the perfect run in his final attempt if he wishes to challenge Max O'Connor for provisional pole position. A bit of a lock. I think I heard a bit of a lock up there in turn 3. Very close to the wall there out of turn 4. And then it's the end of the first sector. It is 54 milliseconds quicker, and that's a purple. So, is it going to be enough? It's he needs a bit more. He needs about 3/10 more, and he might be able to find it in sector 2. That's where you can gain or lose the most time. Very, very tight. It looks like no oversteer or understeer. The car is perfect in the castle section. Absolutely beautifully managed there through the narrow, tight part there on the Azerbaijan track. MPS might actually spoil here the McLaren 1-2 on the starting grid. Another bit of a lock-up there and a scrap with the wall. Out of the end of the second sector there as he approaches now the main part of the track. I think he was still a bit faster there. I couldn't see it from the corner of my eye. I was focusing on the car a bit too much. Let's see then what he will do. Will he challenge either McLaren for the front row? Will he actually claim provisional pole? It's DRS, DRS online now. Past the pit lane entry, across the line. It's not an improvement. Actually, it is an improvement, but it's not enough. It's an improvement in time, a purple first and third sector, but he lost it pretty much in the second sector, and he stays P3. Ayub's replacement Kierbo invalidated his final attempt. He might have more time to get it done, though. Yeah, you can blame me for that one. Yeah, it's fair. That's completely fair, Waffle. And there we have it then. It's not a Aston Martin separating the McLarens. It's actually an Alpine Reflexes. Comes in with a 38.437, which is marginally quicker than Dark, who's just behind him on the final attempt here. So, can he claim back that front row position and make a orange party at the front of the grid? One thing that we do notice is that there is absolutely no AlphaTauri inside of the front row at the moment, unless Kierbo will have a final run, which is absolutely mighty with a set of tires that had pretty much already got 2 laps under their belt. Whoa, a bit of a slippery moment there through turn 1, which is bad news for him. Let's see if he can recover himself from that one. In the meanwhile, we should switch back to Dark, who's currently going through the castle section. 2/10 up at the moment from his previous time, but he stopped. I think he's ruined it in the castle section. We saw a bit of a twitchy moment there, and I'm afraid that's his qualifying over. It's not going to be a McLaren 1-2, I'm afraid. Reflex is letting past his teammate, 4-door sedan, so it's Max O'Connor who might be able to improve his time even more. And I'm curious who will be able to challenge him. It might be Archio, only 19 milliseconds quicker than his previous attempt and invalidated his lap, so that's pretty much done for him then. Let's switch to Kierbo, who's also still going for it on his slightly worn set of softs. How much quicker will he be at the end of the the second sector? He needs almost 4/10 of a second in order to get onto the provisional pole position. Here he comes then. End of the second sector, it's almost 4/10 quicker! He might spoil the party for Max O'Connor. The one and only reserve driver is actually having a shot here at provisional pole position. Is this the new Ayub Khan? I wonder what will happen here as he comes across the final slightly corner there. A bit of a yellow flag situation ahead, as I think somebody is retired on track while going into the pit lane, but will it be enough then for Kierbo? He did it! He did it! He did it! He actually did it! He actually went fastest overall with a 38.279, 8/100ths of a second quicker than Max O'Connor. But I think Max O'Connor himself is also going for it at the moment while his engine is messing up. And he stopped. He's given up. One of the Mercedes passing him. That is actually Fytron. Also very high on the driver standings list. But he's heading into the pit lane. So it's only P16 then for Fytron. That must be very, very, very disappointing. Either way, it is Kierbo who claims pole position. Max O'Connor starts alongside him on the front row. Reflexes ends up in P3. Dark in 4th. Hacko out-qualifying his teammate in P5. PW Jones, that is, only in 10th. His nearest championship rival just ahead of him in 9th place. So definitely not a great qualifying result for the two men who can actually claim the first place in the driver standings tonight. Only 9th and 10th, but it is Azerbaijan and we will have rain. There we have it then. Kierbo, as said, claims pole position. Max O'Connor very close behind there in 2nd place. Reflexes in 3rd. Dark in 4th. Hacko P5. Sam in P6. Also out qualifying his teammate who is higher in the driver standings. MBS for Aston Martin P7. Great result. Archero in P8. Grenade Gore in 9th. And PW Jones in P10. The rest then we have over here. No Mercedes, no Ferraris in the top 10. No Alfa Romeos again in the top 10. Jasko not even setting a time, probably due to some connection issues. Back row, not a great time, and Ernest quite far in terms of pace behind the rest of the field. Keep it clean is easy points, yeah. Let's see what happens with that keeping clean with all the rain at the start of the race. So that means pretty much normal strategies out of the window. And depending on how long the rain will last, throw on a set of hards or mediums all the way till the end, I'd say. Hi Fubar, welcome to the stream. We are right now waiting for the drivers to pick a tire. I can't really see what type of tire we're going to use, but we're going to find out right now, pretty much. As soon as the waiting for players thingy is gone. And we have another timer. Alright, so in the meanwhile you can actually spend some channel points on the poll of tonight. Will Kierbo take the win? Can he do it? It's going to be tight. He's only marginally quicker than Max O'Connor. But the thing is, Kierbo's got nothing to lose. He's a reserve driver. It's his first race here in Tier 3. Max O'Connor's got everything to lose, as he might also close the gap to Ayub if he wins the race. So intermediates then, it is for at least the first part of the race here. As said, 10 minutes at least of light rain. And that is going to be a very interesting race start. Azerbaijan is always a chaotic track, and immediately we have a problem on the formation lap as the pole sitter Kierbo rams his car into the wall. What is going on? And he's disqualified. He couldn't get the car out of the wall, and that is grave news. Because he'll be starting on cold tires, and cold tires in the rain is going to be a disaster. Mate forgot to brake. Yeah, either that or his brakes were so cold that they just wouldn't do anything. But oh dearie me. Are we piling too much pressure on our only reserve driver of the night? Ice cold tires in the wet, yes. I think our pole sitter is in serious trouble. If these men behind him can get their tires into the right temperature window, they will easily breeze past the AlphaTauri. So then, who will come out? Wow, I completely messed up my speech there. Who will come out in P1 after the first turn, or maybe after the first 2 turns? As turn 1 is very, very near the race start. It's just a few meters. F for Alpha. Jesko having connection issues, yes, as I expected. So let's hope he can resolve those when the race starts, otherwise it's going to be a painful one for him. He's already starting last. It couldn't get more painful, of course, but still. He's joining again. So then, might we see a McLaren in the lead very soon? Because of Kierbo's mess up into turn 2. Luckily for him, there's no damage from the formation lap, otherwise he would have had to reform his front wing. That's a terrible joke, by the way. Here they all come then, approaching the starting grid. The lead Williams and the lead Haas, teammates of championship contenders. But they both play an important role tonight, as in if their team scores well, they will claim first place. There's only one AlphaTauri, and that one and only AlphaTauri that can score points for the team is in P12 at the moment. Ryfoon there. Kierbo will not score points for the AlphaTauri team. So Williams and Haas with an important job to do tonight, and they are not looking that bad. Forming up the grid, the camera is really far away, we can't even hear the cars, and Kierbo's tires are almost frozen by this point. So let's see what will happen at the race start. Very, very curious. Here we go then. That's a terrible camera for some reason. There we go. Oh, the lights are 4.5, 5 lights. And waiting until they go off, and then still a little bit more wait, but we are off at long last, and it looks like Kierbo didn't get away that badly at all, but it looks like Max O'Connor, as predicted, will take the lead into turn 1. Kierbo, though, still staying side by side with him, but Max O'Connor will have the inside light into turn 2, and Kierbo once again hits the wall, and it's absolute carnage then for him. That wall doesn't really like him, I'm afraid, and that's his race already. Well, pretty much over, and that means we have a McLaren 1-2 after 2 corners only. Sam moving in third place. This man has had an amazing start. Look at him go. Reflexes is fighting for that final podium place. He will have the inside line into turn 4 though, but he's gone a bit wide. That means Sam, with a bit more traction, is able to claw back, but he once again will have to go and try around the outside. See what he can do there. Is forced to slot in behind the Alpine for the time being. But other than the crash of Kierbo, it looks like everybody's gone through safely, and now he's already at the back of the grid, fallen down the other due to his front wing pretty much absent on this car. So not too bad of a start actually for these drivers, as we have a bit of an interesting situation going on here between some drivers here in P11 and lower. But it looks like the castle section as well is going quite smoothly for almost everybody except Ernest. There we go. Lost it in the castle section and lost his entire front wing as well. So 2 drivers fallen victim, and Reflex is a bit aggressive there against Sam. He's like, you're not gonna get this position, not whatsoever. And immediately we have a double retirement and carnage at the end of the second sector. A virtual safety car. It's a miracle that it's not a full safety car, but absolutely major carnage between so many cars. So many people lost their front wing, and there we go. The only logical solution to this is a full safety car. With so many cars having lost their front wing, this is going to be a very expensive night for many of the teams here. Oh dearie me. And for Jesko's, good news, while he is in the race, which is the good news, the bad news is that he's no longer got a front wing. He made up 7 places since the race start. Driver DNB heading into the pit lane. It's only the top 10, with the exception of Kierbo, that have gone away safely, and no points for AlphaTauri, as Ryfoon has retired along with Alex GameSim. So that's 1 Mercedes, 1 AlphaTauri out. 0 points for the Blue Bulls. Oh man. I was saying everything went clean, and then hell broke loose. Maybe I should just stop commentating altogether, because I keep changing every single driver in this game. Oh dear. Show tires. That's a good one. But I'm afraid it's going to be intermediates only as it's still raining. Let's check the positions gained. That's the more interesting thing at the moment. As said, Max O'Connor leading after having the better start due to warmer tires. Dark gained 2 places. Reflexes still in 3rd. Sam having made an amazing start. He's now ahead of the Williams there of Hacko in P5. Renee Goran in P7 at the moment. And where's PW Jones? He's still hanging around in 9th. But it looks like his nearest rivals made a better start. Now, they got an Aston Martin in between themselves of MBS, who started 7th, is now 8th. But that was incredible. What a start to this race. The rain, as predicted, messed up the race of many drivers, but frankly, it wasn't the castle section that sacrificed many front wings. It was the end of the 2nd sector that did so. Anything can happen at Baku. I think that's the proper description for this track. It's the first safety car and potentially the first of many. We've seen 4 safety cars a few races ago, which was absolute carnage. And the game decides to show that the tires currently are the intermediates, the full wets and a penalty flag. I'm not sure why. We have another driver heading into the pit lane. It's Archuo for some reason. He might have lost a bit of front wing one way or another. I'm quite sure he's not going for a set of dry tires. But he is going for a set of dry tires! Okay, and he's not the only one, I think, who's going to take a big gamble here. No, MVS is actually going for a fresh set of inters. Yes, he is. So, this is interesting. If I'm correct, nobody else has done this gamble, but look at that, Archuo on a set of softs while it's still raining and the track is still quite wet. We can still see the wet patches everywhere, and from my experience, that means the track is nowhere near dry enough for dry tires to operate properly. But here he is. An interesting gamble. Already we see him struggling under safety car conditions. He's gonna have to weave like crazy if he wants to keep those tires within the temperature window. There he goes, already struggling a lot. I'm afraid this has been a terrible call by Archuo. He was doing well in the top 10. In fact, he was P8 when he started the race. I think he was above that. I think he was P6 or something when he came into the pit lane. Either way, he was in a much better position before he went into the pit lane than right now. And I'm almost positive, yes, that the safety car will come in at the end of this lap, since the field is pretty much bunched up, and Archuo, in fact, is himself holding up the rest of the field behind him. Ernest, in the meanwhile, the other Red Bulls, also holding up a bunch of cars for some reason. This group is also not getting a move on. Frankly, though, I still haven't seen a message of safety car coming in, and I think... Oh, there we are. There we are. Safety car in this lap. A little bit late, for sure. But the message has come across, and that means McLaren's leading the field. Archuo is going to be in a big load of trouble. Ernest is still holding up the rest of the group for some reason. But that's going to be an interesting restart at the back of the field. But let's first and foremost see if Max O'Connor can keep the lead from Dark. Dark still without any points in this championship so far, as he's really in a proper position now, as they're almost going side by side and weaving to get the temperature into the tires. Reflexing is pretty much ready, and there he goes then. Max O'Connor is off, and it's Dark who's a bit asleep. Reflex is pretty much awake because he's trying to go side by side. He can't just do that yet, but he might have a lunge into turn 1 under these wet conditions. He's got the inside line, but Dark defending wide, which was a bad idea as he's now lost 2 positions at once. Sam also moving past the McLaren there, and that means from P2 he's fallen down to P4, almost to P5, and he spins out. More carnage in turn 2. Many cars getting hit by Hacko spinning Williams, as Dark tried to defend his position. Many cars weaving there. And let's see how Archuo is doing at the moment, as several bits of front wing are flying around the track. He's losing all the positions. So the soft tire, definitely the worst idea of the race so far. Let's be brutally honest there. Heiko, I'm not sure if he's got front wing damage, but my goodness, more carnage as the race restarts on lap 4 out of 26. And the man who's still winning position, there he is, Jasko in his Alfa Romeo, is doing an absolute fantastic job there. He is currently doing an amazing stint here, sitting P9 as MBS passes Kierbo for 10th place and the last points paying position. Pixon having an absolute nightmare, and we see a yellow flag, and it is in fact more carnage in Castle, and we have a pile-up! We have an absolute pile-up as Jasko desperately tries to go over the Aston Martin for some reason, and it's an absolute insane amount of chaos going into the outside of the Castle section, in fact. But it's absolutely terrible. My goodness, what's going on tonight? And another safety car, no surprise there, no retirement, but the carnage themselves was enough. The track is literally littered with front wing pieces and nearly another front wheel as driver B&B drives themselves into the wall. Heiko is actually retiring from the session, so that's terrible news for Williams. He's run into the wall there, Pixar narrowly avoiding him. That's 3 retirements in 4 laps. If we keep it up like this, we'll have no drivers left at the end of the race. And there go some more dry tires on. Max O'Connor taking another gamble to go for the medium tires. Sam also coming in. Reflex is going for the set of softs. And Sam going for a set of hards. Interesting. We see different strategies and I like that. I think Ericsson hit them all, but I'm afraid that it was driver DNB stopping them all, and then Jasko trying to drive over the Aston Martin pretty much, which was absolutely hilarious. He was so desperate, just trying to push the Aston Martin away. Oh my goodness. Heiko is sad. Yeah, of course he's sad. He was starting 5th, and now he's out. Mediums and hards for most. For most of the drivers, it's a medium strategy. But I'm afraid that the only tire that will work well in these changing conditions are the soft tires, despite the fact that you have to stop another time with the sets of the softest compound. But I do think it is the best thing to go with, and only 3 people have opted to go on that set of tires. And Archibald, frankly, as if he knew that there would be another safety car, has moved up to P4. And to be completely honest, he wasn't even doing that bad of a job with the soft tires when it was still raining. We see the sun breaking through now, and it's going to remain dry throughout all of the race. Soft is probably fastest. I think I'm agreeing with that. And that will force especially the medium cars to go to the end. Sam and Backrow are playing it safe, that's for sure, and I'm afraid Sam especially is going to be in a lot of trouble when the safety car comes in on his hards. It's going to be a sitting duck, I think. He's the only driver who's chosen, along with Backrow of course, but he's so far behind right now. To go to the hards. Soft. It's a unique strategy. And that is the reason why people go on the medium tires first during qualifying. So they have that fresh set of softs when they need it. I've never really had any confirmation from any of the drivers that that is the reason why they do it, but I'm almost positive that it is. And as long as nobody confirms it, I will keep on rambling about it. Ayrton Torlashi, interestingly, thought that the Inters were still faster. Driver DNB retiring from the session in the pit lane. Ayrton, with nothing to lose, goes into a set of mediums. Frankly, the track is drying really fast, so those mediums might also look a bit more interesting now. Either way, the hards are the safe option, but I am very positive we'll get at least another safety car with all the carnage we've seen so far. It's absolutely hilarious, this race. 4 retirements in 6 laps. And driver DNB has pretty much given up. Max O'Connor is still in the lead. The least amount of carnage was at the front of the pack, with the exception of Kierbo, with the turn 2 outer wall, not liking him whatsoever. He has pedal issues. Oh, that's very unfortunate, and that's a perfect reason to give up. And the men who need the points tonight currently sitting in P8 and P9 only. And that means right now Haas is the Constructors' Championship leader. With no AlphaTauris remaining, only 1 Williams out on track. I say no AlphaTauris remaining as in there's no point scoring AlphaTauris for the team out there any longer. But Grenade Goran's got Kierbo behind him, and we know he's got pace as he claimed pole position. But will he have a bit more luck with the turn 2 outer wall? Safety car in this lap. Another attempt at a restart. Let's see if it's a bit less eventful this time. Of course, eventful as in less carnage. And not so many front wings littering the track in every corner. Let's see what happens. And last chance to warm up the tires. Sam with the hards. What can he do? Archibald is taking 4th. Well, he actually still was in P4 there. So Reflexes made a bit of an opportunistic move. And Max is already off. Quite far away from the finish line. He knows that Sam will struggle for grip when they restart. So that's an easy move for him there. And Dark is saying thank you very much for the early restart. That will allow me to slowly go past the Haas in turn 1 with more traction, and Reflexes is sending it, but absolutely not succeeding there, trying to claim 2 places in one go in turn 1, but no chance for him there as Kierbo actually fights with Grenade Goran for P9 and succeeding now finally safely getting past turn 2 there for once, so let's hope he can keep that up. Sam struggling to keep the tires alive. Now he's being hounded by 2 drivers on the soft tires as 4-door sedan and Ernest are having a tussle there over P11. Ernest having a tussle with everybody over any position possible. He's losing them all at the moment. Jesko especially very quick with the soft tires, already chasing 4-door sedan massively, trying to snatch P11 from him. So then we have McLaren 1 and 2. And Sam is not able to keep up with them. Archio relatively easily keeping up with the hard tire user. There we have another spin. It is not Kierbo's day. This time he spins in, what is it, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now he's going to have a bit of a problem trying to turn the car around. And he decides to use reset to track, which is technically disallowed. But what choice really did he have? Let's show the HUD as well. That's a good idea. There we go. Battery is always an interesting thing. Purple second sector there for Dark, already putting on the pressure onto his teammate. So let's see what he can do there. It looks like a bit of a... for some reason I thought it was a leg spike there. Suddenly Max O'Connor moved away a bit further. And Dark is using up already more than half of his battery, but he is setting the fastest lap of the race. So that might be an ominous sign for Max. He now knows that his teammate means business for him. And we have Archivo trying to get past past Sam, but he's not really doing all too well. His tires are a bit older than Reflexes. And that means now the Alpine driver could potentially claim that P4 from the Red Bull driver, who in hindsight had a perfect strategy. But, you know, that's always in hindsight. Latifi Sol, meanwhile, in P6 in his Ferrari, so a great race for him for the time being at least. Didn't do all too well in qualifying. We saw in Monaco that he always is good at strategy stuff. And once again, staying out of the carnage, just like he did on the other street circuit at Monaco. He right now is doing the exact same thing, and that brought him P6. Max O'Connor then still leading the other McLaren in P1 and P2. Reflexes and Archo struggling to get past Sam, who's doing really well on those hard tires. He's not able to keep up with the leaders, but he is able to keep the rest pretty much behind him. So that's a very long train from P3 all the way down to P11, all within a second of one another. Then we have Pixon in P12. He's not at a pace tonight at all. as he's losing ground quickly to the man ahead of him. Jesko, Ernest behind him, already getting bothered by Ayrton Toleshi, who's nearly pushing him to the end of Sector 2. Will he have a go then in this corner? I don't think he is. No. But he might have a go here for P13. Anyway, back to the front of the field as we have another fight here going on for P4. Still, Reflexes is sitting behind, and Dark is now really starting to pile on the pressure and getting ready to take the lead from his teammate. There we go then, in turn 2, DRS there for Dark, and it looks like he's got the better pace of both McLarens at the moment. Will he have a go? He's going side by side. No, he's just having a look. But he can't really have a go just yet, as Max is defending quite well there. And that means Dark will be stuck behind him for at least another half a lap. All the while, Sam is desperately trying to defend from all of those drivers behind him with faster tires. He knows that if he can hold them off long enough, they will start to lose their tires as they are getting older quicker than his hards are. He for sure will go to the end, and he knows that. The longer he can hold them off, the better it will be for his position in P2 at the moment. His teammate in the meanwhile hounding PW Jones for P8 in the castle section. Both of them go. I think I saw a bit of a twitch there from Grenade Gorn, but it's all looking just fine. And finally, I can safely say, I think most of the carnage is now behind us. Battle for the lead. 2 McLarens. How often do you see that? And I think Dark is really going to have a go this time. His battery is not as charged as his teammates. But this is one of those rare moments where teammates are fighting for the lead in MRL. And we are enjoying it pretty much. Dark is already side by side and ahead of Max. He claims the lead with his better pace at the moment. Max then, for now at least, been driven back to second place. Grenade Goran in the meanwhile ahead of his championship rival into P8, and it looks like Reflexes has finally gotten past Archo, who's suddenly fallen down several positions here, and he's narrowly avoiding the wall there as he tries to defend his position from MBS, but he's also ahead right now. Lafifazol in P5, Reflexes 4th, and immediately on the attack for Sam in 3rd place, the final podium position. He squeezes Sam tight around the outside, but he's finally done it. We have a yellow flag though, and that's MBS. MBS into the wall in turn 3. That's bad news there for the Aston Martin. They're already struggling so much for points, and now once again his front wing is broken as Kjærbo sets the fastest lap, but he's absolutely playing no meaningful role anymore. Far behind unless the safety car comes out. Many things happening at once. It's hard to keep it up with. I think we're doing a good job so far. Reflexes, whoa, dearie me. Almost too much power on the throttle there. As he's finally gaining and gaining from Sam and hoping to catch the leaders. He's 4 seconds away from them, but he's got the faster tire for now. 3 tenths in one corner there, so it might potentially look good for him. Back to the leaders of the race though. And here's the question, will they constantly attack one after another? Or will they just work together to create as big of a gap as possible to the cars behind them? I think Max is going to have a go. No, he closed DRS. He's closed DRS. And it's almost like they listen to me. Let's work together, he's saying. Pit stop there for Archibald, and Sam is fighting with Lafifazol now, trying to retain 4th place at the moment. He's gonna struggle. His hard tires are still not up to par with the rest of the field. Lafifazol is now too far away to make a lunge there, but it's looking good for him. Let's have a quick look at the positions gained. Look at that, 10 positions gained from P15 to P5 for Lafifazol. Jesko from P20 to P8, so that's a fantastic race for both of those drivers. And of course, it's very exciting at the head of the field. It's Max O'Connor once again leading from Dark though. And they are doing that with minimal time loss, but Reflexes is edging ever closer on his soft tires. Sam losing ground quickly. Lafifazol still piling on the pressure Sam's teammate is behind Latifi Sol right now, so that's Grenade Goran already in 6th place. PW Jones down in 7th at the moment. He's not going to be too happy. His championship rival is right ahead of him, pressurizing the Ferrari. Now let's quickly see what's going on with the McLarens. They were working together 1 lap ago. Are they still working together now with 3.5 seconds pretty much to reflexes? And it looks like Dark is going to reclaim the lead again. It's just going to be a game of cat and mouse between these two, isn't it? Max isn't defending. I think they are ready to go for a McLaren 1-2. And Racing is currently 2nd in priority. They have the pace, and Latifi Sol in the meanwhile finally claims 4th place, but Sam is trying to come back at the inside. He's gonna have a go for sure. It's an epic move there, and Sam, well, he nearly got the job done, but Latifi Sol having no DRS. Sam is not having any DRS either, and that means Grenade Goran has now already got his teammate, and now might have potentially go and get Latifi Sol. No, Sam just let his teammate pass. He knows that Grenade Goran is fighting for the championship more than he is, and his tires are fresher and quicker at the moment, so no point for Sam in defending hard from his teammate. Kierbo is actually out of the race. Yeah, we're so enthralled by the race here at the moment that we didn't even see the last AlphaTauri retiring from the race. Well spotted, Gozzi. McLaren indeed, so far at least, having no competition. The nearest driver behind him on the soft tires, reflexes, is struggling to keep up. We have a yellow flag. It's actually back row in the retirement. Many more carnage. I thought we were done with the carnage, but there we go. It's Pixon retiring from the session. It's a wingless Ayrton Torleschi in his Ferrari, and we have another safety car. Oh no. We are halfway through the race, I know. We're in for a long race tonight, I'm afraid. That's safety car number 3. Yeah, the Ferrari could have avoided that. Maybe you got caught off guard a little bit as Ernest struggles through the castle section on his fresh medium tires. That's going to mess up the strategy again, isn't it? Dark continues. His teammate comes in for a fresh set of mediums. That's going to cost him not that many places because everybody else is doing the same. Jasko coming in as well. 4-door sedan is coming in too. Ayrton must come in. Back row can continue due to his hard tires, but interestingly, the other hard tire user has come in for a fresh set of mediums as well. And he's held up in the pit lane. No, he's teleported out of the pit lane. Oh dear. Now, I'm afraid Dark might have made a bit of a mistake. I think he's got no more choice but to stay out now and finish the race on these tires. If he comes in at the pit lane, he will fall down, I'm afraid, well outside the top 10. Despite there being only 14 drivers left. You've got 6 retirements in 13 laps. He probably gambles under the safety car. That's a fair point, actually. We've seen this man do the same, and he succeeded. But he had a problem. And he's now back in P6. Okay, Goran in P5 at the moment, behind back row on his slightly older hard tires. But he saw no reason to come in. He's done this purely to gain as many positions as he can. Now then, back row in 4th place. 1 step away from a podium. But I don't think he's going to play a big role in trying to get a victory. As every car behind him has got fresher and faster tires. One of those cars is Grenade Goran right behind him. In fact, 10 points at the moment. He needs 8 more to claim the driver's lead. So he needs 2nd place, at least. And he knows it. But will he risk it all? The season is still quite long. We're not halfway done yet. PW Jones is 3 places behind him as we speak. And I fully agree with Eruption there, that Max is in a prime position. Reflex is not too bad either. But on his softs, he wasn't able to keep up the McLaren pace. The McLarens are looking fantastic today. They're still 1-2 when the third safety car is coming around. Probably coming in at the end of this lap. Laviva Sol, he was fighting for P4, now down in P7 again. Sam will probably be happy that he's gotten rid of the media or the hard tires he had. Either be Max or Reflex. That actually rhymes. It's Max or Reflex. Well, don't count Grenade Goran out either. I mean, he's won the last race, and he can probably do this again. And if he does, he will be leading. So there's a lot of stake for him. The only penalty currently in Laviva Sol's hands. Let's see what kind of penalty that is. A 5-second penalty. Let's have a look at the race director and see what kind of penalty exactly he gained. There's plenty of warnings. Speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, there's not much they can do about that, I'm afraid. Ayrton Toleshi served his 5-second penalty with the collision with Pixon, which probably happened when he bumped into him when Pixon's car was sideways and broken. Welcome to the stream, Kiergo. Yeah, you were having the worst luck tonight, weren't you? Especially with the outer wall at turn 2. That wall just hated you. Safety car in this lap, so the third restart of tonight. Well, I'm curious how many more safety cars we're going to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one coming up sooner rather than later. And now it's Dark leading away the field. Let's switch back to the tire thingy. I wonder what Dark will do when he realizes that Max will most likely have the better pace on the fresher tires. Ah. Let's see. The pedal got stuck. I've had that sometimes before as well. It's really annoying. And there he goes, Dark is off, but it looks like Max is easily able to keep up. I think, in fact, he's almost holding back a little bit. Reflexes is also still quite close. Back row is not able to keep up, and it looks like Max O'Connor already in the lead. Dark is not defending at all, but he's able to come back a little bit as Max ran a little wide in turn 1. Turn 2, though, it looks safe for the second McLaren there, the lead McLaren, I should say, as he's got the better championship position. And already Grenade Goran's gonna try and get past. We have yellow flag. It's Ernest with the worst luck of the world again in turn 2 this time, as Grenade Goran eases, well, not really eases, his back row is actually doing a great job defending there with his hard tires. Now he's got the inside line, and he's still in P4. And in fact, now Grenade Goran is having a tussle with Archibald for P5. The Red Bull is getting involved, and we have another bit of carnage. It's actually, I believe, back row is getting punted by either Grenade Goran or Archibald. I'm not sure who it was, but it is another bad news there. No safety car this time. Fortunately, we can actually keep racing this time. But there we are then. More bad news for back row there, as he's now dropped down the order on his older hard tires. And I think I can be safe to say that's his race over. And PW Jones got involved as well, as he's fallen down to 13th, now back in 12th. I think he's involved in the same carnage that P5, 6 and 7 were in. Or P4, 5 and 6 anyway, not near his position. You can't really, no. The screen resolution is actually at 1080p. But thank you for your constructive feedback. There we are then. The fight for P2 with Dark struggling to keep reflexes. I'm a little bit caught off guard by the sudden bashing of my resolution, but whatever. Reflex is trying to fight for third place and not actually succeeding so far just yet. Latifi Sol is not able to keep up with the top 3 at the moment, and Max O'Connor is pretty much in the clear as his teammate is not able to keep up on the older medium tires there. Latifi Sol gaining back a little bit of time here, but it is Grenade Goran piling on the pressure of the Ferrari. If there's anything wrong with the quality of the stream, make sure to let me know in a more friendly way, by the way. Because I'm always happy to improve things. Anyway, back to the matters at hand. MBS, who's had a bit of bad luck, he's already climbed back into 8th position and currently challenging 4-door sedan, I believe. Yes, there we are, in 7th place. And this man is having a great race as well, isn't he? We haven't mentioned him a lot just yet. But he's currently in 7th place. The pole position was actually a 38.2 by Kierbo, who's now out of the race, unfortunately. He's had the worst luck, especially the formation lap, which actually was quite funny to see. Anyway, MBS still right behind 4-door sedan, and I think it's not going to take long for Reflexes to gain the 2nd place that Dark is currently holding over him. He's got a really good exit out of turn 2. Just 3/10 separates them now, and he's having a much better run into turn 3. He's going to go side by side with him. And the inside Dark tries defending, has a bit of a touch on the right rear wheel of Reflexes Alpine, but it looks like no damage from that move there, as Grenade Goran has moved ahead of Latifi Sol. He's been moved down to 5th place, along with that 5-second time penalty, which for sure will put him in some more trouble if he wishes to retain that place there. Sam already getting closer to the Ferrari as well, so it's looking good for Haas at the moment, who are firmly grasping their hands around the lead of the Constructors' Championship standings at this moment. Who said the Alpine could break up the McLaren party? I'm not sure who said it, but it's happened, and Dark is not able to keep up. And while yes, he's hoping for another safety car, it hasn't happened yet, and it's more unlikely at the moment at least, because the field is starting to spread out. There's only a few small groups remaining now. 4-door Celan is leading this 3rd group here between P7, 8 and 9, and he's defending like his life depends on it at the moment. Look at that. Moving left and right, making sure that the slipstream is broken from MBS's Aston Martin, but I'm afraid there's no holding back this man, who is always pretty quick in qualifying and gets really unlucky in the race. He's going to have the DRS. Ayrton Torlashi just behind him is having a real good shot at some more points as well. And there they both go. It's going to go side by side for 3 drivers. Look at that, 3 abreast into turn 1 potentially. But they played a bit more safely there. Both Ayrton and MBS are moving past 4-door sedan. And I think this Alpine man here isn't very happy tonight. But he might have another shot here into turn 3. As now MBS is the man without any DRS. Sam is actually moving ahead of Latifi Sol there for 5th place. So that's more points for the Haas team. We have a yellow flag as Jasko is retiring from the race. 1 Alfa Romeo out for sure then. 4-door sedan still in 9th place at the moment, as he's gonna have another try later on, but he's having a very low battery at the moment. So that might be a reason for concern for him. He might want to try and keep up and save the battery for later, but it looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's losing more and more time to both Ayrton Torlashi and MBS, as they are now going and try to hunt down Latifi Sol, sitting in P6. He's also losing a lot of time to Sam. He's already lost 2 seconds within half a lap, which is a lot, if I have to be honest. And he might have some damage. But from the looks of his cornering, it looks fine. Yeah, he's losing so much time. It's almost scary how much time he's losing at the moment. MBS is catching him greatly as well. So I'm afraid Latifi Sol is in trouble. And yes, he is moving into the pit lane, so he must have damage then to his front wing. The damage that we cannot see on the spectator mode, unfortunately. So that's terrible news there. In the meantime, a Dark has gone into the pit lane as well for a fresh set of soft tires and a fresh front wing. He's got damage then. That's the main reason he came in. So that's terrible news then for the McLaren team, who had such a 1-2 in the bag. They could have kept it, had both drivers pitted potentially. And now Reflexes is on the hunt for victory, trying to take it from Max O'Connor. Grenade Goran now in the podium places. He needs 3 more points to claim the lead in the championship. His teammate is right behind him, so will there be an inter-team battle there between both Haases in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Now this is the team to beat tonight. Just need to keep it clean there, and as I say that, he nearly loses in the castle session with some oversteering moments. Sam easily keeping up, and I'm afraid for Grenade Goran that his teammates got the upper hand in terms of pace, at least for now. Reflexes nearly within DRS range. Will he have enough to get the DRS range done? He needs a good exit on this corner. He's still outside, but he's using his battery to get closer. Max is about the same level of battery at the moment. He's still not within DRS range, and the point is approaching. There you go. Now he's got it. And that means he will be able to close the gap to well within a second. There he comes. Getting ever closer, and there we have it. As predicted, Sam faster than Grenade Goran, and Grenade Goran actually letting him get past to see if he can actually carry him to the front 2. Whoa. Sam had a bit of a worse entry at the corner there. Reflex is now really piling on the pressure on Max O'Connor. He can ruin McLaren's party even worse now, with Dark fallen down to P9, but with soft tires, but also 9.3 seconds away from PW Jones in 8th at the moment. So Max will actually deal a great amount of damage to the championship leaders. He will inch very close to the top 3 in the driver's standings tonight if he wins the race. And well turned in there in the castle section. Reflex is still following closely behind. 7/10 is what separates both of these cars at the moment. The battle for the lead is truly on, with just 6 laps to go after this one. So then on to the main straight. Wow, the main straight. The com is still messing up my speech tonight for some reason. And there we have it then. Will Reflexes go for the attack on the main straight, or will he make another move elsewhere? This is his first true opportunity for the lead of the race. He is edging closer and closer, but it's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. Not even enough for a lunge in turn 1. He's playing it safe. He knows he can't risk it all. As Grenade Goran now eases back into 3rd. I think Haas is working together to close up to the leaders of the race, but they do not really have the pace. They're now 5 seconds clear as Max is weaving to break the slipstream. Reflexes is now really having a go for it, but it's not enough still. He's very, very, very close. He's nearly with his front wing in the rear of the McLaren there at the moment. As Dark has now set the fastest lap. He's now 7 seconds away from PW Jones, who in his turn is nearly at 4-door sedan's rear. So Alpine as well is doing really well tonight for points. Dafifa Sol also having made another pit stop, so as I said, the damage there has been done to his wing. We saw him going slow on the main straight and several other corners. So no great race for him after such a fantastic few avoidances from all the carnage that had happened. And then in the end, it had to happen at some point, getting involved in the carnage for himself. So tough luck for him for now. And I don't think any safety car is going to come out any longer, as the racing is now spread out between several groups of 2. We have the 2 race leaders, Max O'Connor and Reflexes fighting. We have Grenade and Sam together. We have Ayrton and MBS together. We have 4-door sedan PW Jones together. So 4 groups fighting for 2 positions each. Dark pretty much alone. Archer was alone, 3 seconds behind Dark at the moment. And then we have here Reflexes getting closer and closer still. And now I think, no, he's holding back. He's saving his battery, waiting until he sees Max O'Connor's light flashing, as Sam now eases back into 3rd place. And they are, despite working together well, still losing a lot of ground to the race leader. So I don't think this working together is going all too well, as PW Jones claims 7th place from 4-door sedan. This man needs those points as well. He can close the gap to the championship leader, but he needs more points if he wants to close the gap further. He knows he's now also under threat from Max O'Connor, who's doing a fantastic job of still holding back Reflexes, who is easing up behind him to charge the battery as much as he can. Max is having more trouble with that battery, so it might come down to who's got the biggest battery by the end of the race. A yellow flag then from Ernest as he retires out of a corner. It's a safety. No way! I said we would have a safety car, and there you have it. It is the safety car. I'm retiring from commentating right now. I cannot believe. Oh my god. I cannot believe what's happening. By the end of the season, there should be a compilation of all the jinxes I've made. Wow. It's unbelievable what's happening tonight. Ernest caused the 4th safety car of the race. And that means we'll have 2 laps of racing, which has big potential for massive carnage by the end of the race. 12 drivers remain. Who's going to risk it and stay out? Well, the leaders are going to risk it and stay out. Let's see what Sam and Grenade Goran are going to do. Sam is staying out and Grenade Goran is going to come in. What is Ayrton Torlashi going to do? Staying out. MBS staying out. PW Jones is staying out. 4-door sedan is staying out. So Grenade Goran then. He's thinking, well, I've got a fresh set of softs now, so that's good news for me. 4-door sedan actually is coming in as well. But he's lost 3 or 4 positions with that, and now make that almost 5 as Dark is really close. But for now he's ahead. This is also quite lucky for Dark. He might be able to climb back some places, but he does have some older soft tires. Not that it really matters though, because there's only going to be about 2 racing laps until the end of the race. I'm quite positive. So that's Ernest out of the race, the latest retirement. And that means only 12 drivers remain, and we're nearly at the record for most drivers lost. 9 drivers finished in Tier 2 in Monaco Grand Prix, so that's the record. That's 11 DNFs. We're now at 8 in Tier 3. There shouldn't be any DRS, that's a good point as well, yes. Max surely wins. Well, that really depends on how well his restart is. If his restarts is going to be as good as his previous 2, then he's got it, most likely. If not, we do know that Reflex has got the pace to keep with him. And if he's got an amazing restart, Max might still be in trouble. It's Sam behind them as well. Ayrton is in 4th at the moment. MBS might still pull off a big surprise. PW Jones is going to be happy as he's now ahead of Grenade Goran, who's absolutely fuming most likely, and wishes to gain as many positions in whatever laps remain in this race. Yeah, the Sots will definitely not catch up to P1, that's for sure. But I think the biggest deal right now is this battle here between PW Jones and Grenade Goran. 5 points separate them in the championship. P2 and P3 is where they are at the moment. And I think that's going to matter big time for them. Just waiting for Laviva Soul and Backroad to catch up. But I think the happiest man at the moment is Ayrton Torlashi, as he only got a few points on the board at the moment. He's climbed 10 places. Look at that, from P14 to P4. And, well, if he can keep that up, maybe even claim a podium, then he's definitely a driver of the day for me. Interestingly, he's currently using his brakes on the main straight. Sorry, the back straight. At least that's what the game is telling us. Revving his engine hard, getting temperature in not only his tires, but in every other part of his car as well, it looks like. And he's doing it again. Some more wheel spinning going on. A bit of a burnout on whatever straight he can find. So interesting tactics to keep the tires warm from Ayrton Torleschi there for sure. So, since I jinx everything, I'm going to bring it up to you guys. Will there be any more DNFs now that they know there's only going to be 2 racing laps? Will we break the record of 11 DNFs? Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys think. 2 more DNFs. Okay, so that's not the record, but still half the field out. There's been quite a few drivers prone to getting damage. Archer being one of them, back row being another. So I hope for their sake they will not be those 2 DNFs that Eruption is thinking about. Yes, the guys on softs will definitely push hard from behind. Speaking of the guys on softs, it's everybody from P7 down to P12. As there's a bit of a confusion going on that the safety car is coming in for the final 2 laps of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Tier 3. Who will come out as a winner? No penalties to spoil the fun. Which is also pretty rare, but very common on Azerbaijan as track limits are pretty rare. But it is anyone's game, I'm safely saying there. Because if carnage happens, it might all change. If they keep it clean, either Max or Reflex will win, I think. But you never know what Sam can do there. He already snatched a win away from Max O'Connor once, and he's got a fairly nice restart there. Very close behind on Reflexes, and Max O'Connor has got it covered for the time being. Sam having an ill look, but not daring to take the lunge just yet. With 2 laps to go, Grenade Goran has already claimed the pace from PW Jones, and MBS having a bit of a twitchy moment there. Now trying to claim, well, actually Grenade Goran now claimed 2 places in one go. So that's already one of the soft users in the top 5 already. Half a second now between himself and 4 cars ahead of him. He's not that far away anymore from a victory. Max O'Connor having an issue on Reflexes, outbrakes himself, and that's his race win over, and pretty much any hope of points for the Alpine driver as he smashes the front wing out of frustration into the wall, and there he goes. Goodbye, game over for him. Ayrton Torleschi trying to get a podium place, but his podium place is now lost, and Grenade Goran is now up to 3rd place. And there we go. Who said that the softs couldn't claim P1 there? I'm afraid, Waffle, you might have to come back on your words, because Grenade Goran is now flying into 3rd. Lafifa Sol on back row already losing the pace to the rest of the field. Reflex is making his way slowly back. And Grenade Goran is flying. Is he going to fight his teammate here? Is Sam going to let him past? Haas is for sure going to claim great amount of points, and Grenade Goran might have actually gonna have a shot of victory there if his teammate doesn't battle him too hard. It is now 2 tenths from P2 at the moment there. The man who started in P7 already up to 3rd place. And already side by side there with Sam. And I think he's gonna have a go there for sure, but Sam is not relenting this time. No more cooperation from his teammate, as Sam will have the inside line into turn 1. Will Grenade Goran keep the position in 2nd place on his freshest softs? Yes, he will. Sam isn't defending as hard as I thought he would be. Dark now moving into 5th place with the older soft tires, but still doing a great job. So that means now 1 second for Grenade Goran remaining, and we have Archio spinning out into turn 1, so that's more disaster for him. Reflex is getting a penalty, but he doesn't really care anymore either way. And Grenade Goran then still has a shot at victory if he can keep up with Max's absolute brutal pace there. No DRS, so Grenade Goran is going to have to rely on every bit of power, every bit of pace that his tires got, all the battery that he has. It's the only chance he's got at a shot for victory. Only 6 tenths now separating him from a victory on the Azerbaijan track. 6 tenths, 5 tenths of a second now. And it's weaving a little bit between those numbers, but it's coming down even more. Only half a second now between Grenade Goran and Max O'Connor. Max feeling the pressure from the fresh softs of the Haas behind. Can Grenade Goran make it a back-to-back victory after his great win in Portugal last week? Ayrton Torleschi pressurized by Dark. Can another McLaren move into the top 4? That's the big question, but the biggest question of tonight is what can Grenade Goran do? 3 tenths right now. And Max O'Connor already going onto the defensive there. He needs a great exit from this corner, and he does get a great exit. It's only a matter of seconds now. It's 1/10, less than 1/10. Max is using every bit of battery that he can. Onto the final 2 corners they come. It's going to be side by side. No! Grenade Goran is still again right behind him, but now it's the moment. It's less than 1/10 of a second. It's almost side by side, but Max is having more speed on the straight, and he just holds out to the line. My God! He just does it. Max O'Connor wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Reflex is in the way of all of those cars. He's like, screw it, I don't care. But wow, what a race finish. I am out of breath. Whew. I need a breather. I've never talked this fast without any mistakes in speech before. Wow. I know drivers are sweaty after a race, but now I am as well. But good look at that. He must be elated with this victory. He fought every single bit he could. McLaren has a race winner once again, and 2 Haases on the podium. Who'd have thought that? And that definitely means Haas is now easily the leader in the Constructors' Championship. Grenade Goran got his 2nd place, and that means he now leads the Drivers' Championship. We shouldn't forget about that one. Wow. A lovely view for Sam. Yes, he saw his teammate fighting, nearly taking victory. Look at the difference between the top 2. 21 milliseconds. Gotta take a screenshot of that one. You gotta have to do that. And look at this. Technically 11 drivers finished the race. Reflex is sort of retired, but he's still getting counted as 1 lap down, and this is your final result there. But my goodness, what a race. Ayrton Tolashi so close to a podium, yet so far away. Nearly lost P5 to Dark, who's claiming the fastest lap of the race. So at least there's a bit more to celebrate there for McLaren. They could have had the 1-2. Grenade and Ayub now on the same amount of points, but we're going to have a quick look at who's won more races to see who would actually claim the lead. It's actually not Grenade Goran having the lead. It's because Ayub has won 2 races and Grenade Goran has won only 1. Ayub will still retain the lead of the championship. Either way, it's time to move on to the interviews. I'm quite sure that all 3 of them would love to have a bit of a go on their opinion of this chaotic yet epic race. Let me scrape my throat before I pull in the winner of this race. I hope we're both got a bit more breath here. Max, wow, what a final 2 laps that must have been for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That was a stressful race. From starting in the wet to all the safety cars, and at the very end, trying to hold off the Haas behind on softs. That was a long race.
Yeah, there were so many things going right for you there. You've led pretty much the majority of the Grand Prix. You were also under threat from your teammate, but am I right in saying that I saw some teamwork when you had a 1-2 quite far ahead of Reflexes?
Yeah, no, teammate Dart was amazing today. Like when we were ahead after one of the many restarts, it was a case of just DRS training each other and not attacking each other. So we bit off a big gap, but then there was another safety car, and then a Dark stayed out on the softs, and I pitted, and he ended up letting me pass in the first corner and then holding up the Alpine behind. So that helped massively. And it meant I got a gap, but again there's another safety car. So all of that, it was like stop starting. It's like 5 times I thought I was going to win the race.
Yeah, you've done a really great job despite all the pressure from the safety cars and teammates and the like, everything behind you trying to claim that victory from you. You were put under pressure from Reflexes as well. Did you think your lead was in jeopardy if the safety car hadn't come out at that final time?
Yeah. I mean, I could see Reflexes just sort of sitting behind me and saving ERS, and I was trying to do the same, and I think we were on sort of similar ERS, but yeah, he had a lot of quick pace. He closed a 2.5 second gap in a concerningly quick time. So it was that I was sort of quite worried at the end there.
Looking at the driver standings now, you're now only 9 points behind Ayub Khan because he didn't race today. How are your thoughts on that? Yeah, any chance of the driver's title? What can we expect from you in terms of that?
It's a long season left, so we'll see how we go. Just take each race as it comes, and I know each race sort of comes to different drivers. I guess now Monaco and Baku both winning those, it's sort of street circuits. Turns out what I'm half decent at. So I don't know what the next few tracks are, but if they're more traditional, I think then we'll sort of see how we can do. But we'll take each race as it comes.
Yeah, we're seeing Canada next week on the calendar, so indeed more traditional track there. Very curious to see what you can do there. Enjoy your hard-fought victory of tonight. And, well, see you next week then in Canada.
Yeah, see you then. Thanks.
Right, moving on to the man in second place there. If my calculations are correct, that is actually our man over here. It is Grenade Goran. Welcome to the commentary booth here. You were literally 21 milliseconds away from victory. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great actually. My race was horrible. I think I boxed 3 times, and yeah, it was it was really much damage. So yeah, but the last few laps was super fun, and yeah, I have an advantage because I was on the soft tire, of course, but it was super fun. I just did one more, maybe like 200 meters more, and I will have max, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a lot less than 200 meters, considering the end result said 21 milliseconds separated you from a victory.
Yeah, I am a dumb ass because I chose the outside line in the last corner out on the straight. Of course, I should do the opposite and go on the inside. But actually, it was Alexander Johansson, Jew, that told me box. I'd say no way. I keep in my position, but yeah, it ends up great.
It ended up quite great. There was also a bit of carnage, of course, which helped you a little bit there. And we saw someone in the chat saying that for sure, soft runners are not going to catch up to P1. You proved them wrong for sure, so good on you for that one.
Thanks.
Looking at the driver standings, you're now on par with Ayub Khan.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
It's great. If he don't race some more race, maybe I can get ahead of him a bit. But I have a lot of DNFs and ending up long back in the field. So I need to be more in the front to win this.
All right, let's see if you can do that next week in Canada. So good luck, enjoy your second place and your near victory, and see you then.
Thanks, bye.
Cheers. And then we have a man who hasn't been on the podium in a while. In fact, a man who hasn't been in the points for a while. Looking at your record, Sam, this is the first time in 3 or 4 races, in fact, that you have been in the points. And immediately it's back on the podium. So congratulations, first of all, and take us through your thoughts of this race, because it was a chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at times I thought the race was gone when I was on the hards. I made a pretty bad decision at that point. I thought they'd be a bit quicker because I tried them out before in another race, but as I was falling back through the field, and then the second to the last safety car came and sort of lifted me from the dead. I think I was pretty resigned to getting a low amount of points at that point if I didn't crash.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see you on the hards there for sure.
Yeah.
But luckily for you, there was plenty of carnage and plenty of safety cars, and then you were there suddenly ready to claim a podium place.
Yeah, a lot of the positions just came to me, really. I was just, especially in like the middle sector where all the twisty parts are, I was being a bit, passive, and drivers would just go off and hit each other. I didn't actually do that much overtaking to gain the positions I did, but again, just really happy with my drive, I think, today.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bit of patience and a bit of luck to get a few extra positions, and I'm sure that for one part helped out a little bit. And you looked really strong, actually, throughout the entire race, so good on you for that one. Looking ahead to next week, Canada, how is that for you in terms of performance?
I'm not actually sure, because I haven't done Canada in a long time, actually, and it used to be one of my better ones, so hopefully I can get some practice and see where I am in that one. But if I had to say, I'm not that confident to repeat what I did today, just based off now.
Okay, well then enjoy your third place, actually, here in Tier 3. And let's see what you can do next week in Canada. Cheers for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
All right, my good friends in chat, thank you so much for joining us on this truly epic race here at Azerbaijan. I am personally quite exhausted right now. It's been a long race, it's been a fun race. We've seen many things happen. A lot of front wings were lost. And yeah, I'm already looking forward to tomorrow's race, because Tier 2 is always quite interesting to see what will happen there. They currently have the record of most DNFs in Monaco, with 11 drivers not finishing the race. And seeing how now Tier 3 also had a lot of DNFs, with 9, I'm very curious to see if they can keep it a bit more clean, because the carnage today was up there, I can tell you that much. Let's see how the weather will act tomorrow, how the drivers will drive tomorrow. And other than that, thank you so much once again for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure to commentate for this race. Have a great morning, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow 10 p.m. sharp. Good day.